Hey, folks, here's your guy here, back here on the corner. Dolphins AD Moore at the AD Max Korner. Normally, this is a loss by the football game, but this is one thing I would just like to. We had a very tragic incident Friday night over at NRG Park and the Astroworld. Scott's performance and everything. That was a loss of life, and I want to extend my condolences. I know we're going to talk about a football game, but nobody lost their life at that game. But there was a loss of life, and there was a lot of tragic circumstances surrounding Scott's concert and everything. And I just want to extend my condolences to those families who have lost loved ones and the other injured parties, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this and not see this thing happen again. I know it's been a long time since we've had a concert and everything, and folks want to get out, but under circumstances like this, I'd rather for us to go back into hiding again because this is not what we need to have. But just like to extend my personal condolences to those families out there, those grieving one family that lost life and everything else. But we still got to talk about the game today from Hard Rock Cafe, as your Houston Texans 1-7 going into the contest against another 1-7 Miami Dolphins, and one of them, no, they could have tied. That was the best possibility. They could have tied, but really, this was a turnover contest. That was a total of 9 turnovers today, and uh, for somebody to have to stand there, I know I was in Buffalo and had to go witness that travesty, but I need to bring in Mark Stallworth, who was at Hard Rock Cafe, and he had to witness that travesty today. Mark, welcome to the corner. I extend, I'm sorry that you had to sit there and watch that turnover fest today. 9 total turnovers. I mean, is there any way that probably they'd have flipped the coin? The coin would have stood up on his ends again. But hey, welcome to the corner, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Yo, give me your quick insights. I've been having to watch one. They won their first game against Jacksonville, and they've been losing ever since. And pretty well, you probably been having to witness the same thing with the Miami Dolphins. Although there was greater expectations, there was not that much of an expectation for us, the Houston Texans was concerned, but there were been great expectations for the Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores and Brian Greer and that whole group down there, and they finally just won their second ball game of the year. Your initial reactions to the ball game today?
Yeah, the at the stadium at Hard Rock in Miami Gardens, the fans they were pretty anxious for when will this losing streak end, and fans were on their heels. The game started off game time decision with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa getting pulled from being starter, and then they had him at a backup. But Jacoby Brissett came in. He led the team to a will, and defense was the name of the game. Several turnovers and several mistakes, but in the end, the Dolphins they got their second win of the season. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I like the way you gave that dramatic portrayal of several turnovers. Yeah, it was several. It was a whole hell of a lot of turnovers, man.
Yeah,
I mean, some of them I know that first interception from Tyrod. I mean, he just sort of threw the ball up there, and then what linebacker made a toe tapper interception. I mean, he just
yeah,
sort of threw. I guess he thought he was throwing it away, but be case as being, but you mentioned that Tua got pulled this morning. Was there any indication coming into? I've read that he had a finger injury coming into this contest. Was
yeah.
that
It
was
was
that? Did y'all have any inklings that this was going to happen today?
not at all. After the trade deadline occurred, the team made it clear that Tua Tagovailoa was the starting quarterback for the team, and going into Sunday, you would expect Tua to start and show why the team stuck with him to moving forward, and then just to have him pulled, found out that it was a finger injury. But like I said, Jacoby Brissett came in as he typically does, a true veteran, learning from the greats like Tom Brady. So he came in and help the team win. They needed this win badly, so he did what he had to do, and it was an interesting thing, I'll say the least.
Interesting. Yeah, the thing, Jacoby Brissett. I had to go back and I went back and I think this is about his eighth or his ninth start against the Texans, and I think he's only lost to the Texans once. I went back and checked because I remember he was a third round draft pick for the New England Patriots, and in fact he started and he defeated the Houston Texans team only through and he only threw 19 passes in that whole game. The Bill Belichick and them just beat the Texans with him basically running and only throwing the ball 19 times. So he has if there's anybody that can stand up and be a Texan killer, Jacoby Brissett, wherever he's been, whether he was in with the Indianapolis Colts and now in Miami, he has proven that he has what it takes to beat the Texans. Because a lot of folks are showing right now that they have what it takes to beat the Texans. So but that as it may, he's still a man that walks around with the crown. He has the belt. He can walk around with the belt. The mindset that after the trade deadline and everybody said that Tua is going to be the man. How long is that supposed to last? To say till the end of the season, end of the year? What's your gut reaction as far as how the Miami Dolphins are really embracing Tua? Or are they embracing Tua? Are they everybody saying the right things and until they get to the end of the year and then there's going to be a change?
You know, come to the end of the season, I know all players, they'll typically get evaluated on the performance for the year, and the team has shown that they have a lot of holes that need to be filled. This is yet another game that the offense has failed to gain over 100 yards rushing, and you question yourself if you're an admin whether the offensive line is built to establish this run game that you need in order to allow your young quarterback to go out there and throw the ball. But with Tua, it always comes down to he's going to be compared to Justin Herbert over in Los Angeles, and they were drafted right after each other, and the Dolphins haven't found their quarterback since Marino. So it's challenging when you have a fan base who's adamant about having that next guy, and it hasn't been that successful since. And with this injury too, it adds another question. Where does the team go from here? Do they enter the waiver wire? Do they entertain calls from maybe let's say Cam Newton? So but we'll see how it goes in the next coming weeks. I know it's a short week this week, and we have to prepare for Baltimore.
How serious was the talk? In your opinion, how serious were they about really going for Deshaun Watson until the owner stepped? At least per the reports we got down here, how serious were they really about trying to go after bring Deshaun Watson down there? In your
You know,
opinion,
in my opinion, I think the team they were serious. Starting the season, you can say there was a win now mentality as far as on putting that roster together on paper, opening the new training facility, uh, having that emphasis to want to win now. You would think with the way the season has been going, what else would there be to lose than just to throw everything away? But this team they wanted to stand by Tua and show why he's the guy. You don't give up on your guy 2 years in. Look at Josh Allen, and he's having an amazing season this year. So
even though Buffalo
try to give
lost
it some
today,
time. Yeah,
yeah,
even though they did lose, yeah.
even though they lost today, but at least I was in Orchard Park, up in Buffalo when they just put that blitzkrieg on the Texans early. So I've still got a couple of guys, my colleagues up there. They starting to come around in Josh we believe, but beside today, I mean, let's face it. I think from your beat and from my vantage point, I think we'll both of us would take a Josh Allen and take that whole record series right now,
Oh
as
yeah.
opposed to having to sit up there. We sit up here trying to parse words and trying to be civil about and as I mentioned earlier in the setup piece, there was a lot of great expectations for Brian Flores. He's going in his third year. with Brian Greer being the general manager, and everything was, they felt like that. This, in fact, Flores, was a lot of hope that he would probably be the first Belichick protege to come off the Belichick tree and really be successful. But I don't know. I mean, do you feel like in your assessment that is he dead man walking this also?
Nah, I think when it comes to Chris Graham and Brian Flores, this is what year three of a so-called rebuild.
Right.
You trade a prized possession in Laramie Tunsil for a king's ransom to the Houston Texans, and that turned into
Don't don't don't
you,
don't mention you
yeah,
you you
you know.
yeah, you just stand. Y'all gonna win the game, then you're gonna come back and dig up all. Oh yeah, by the way, we gave a king's ransom. We gave y'all Laramie Thompson, who by the way is on injury reserve. We don't expect to see him for a while. But go ahead. I didn't, Mark. I just had to interject that in there. I mean, I know you can get up there and do the South Beach just dance or hustle, whatever you want.
No, but it seems like the team is starting to make the right decisions as far as getting those skills players like Tua and Jalen Waddle, who's having a phenomenal rookie season, leading all rookie receivers and receptions this year. So uh, they're starting to show who they are offensively, but there still needs to be some addressing to that offensive line situation. So we'll see if they can handle that within free agency, but I'd say this is the windows is getting slim. I'd say that.
In other words, okay, so in your opinion, Flores might have one more year. I mean, if they get on a hot streak now, and probably could close it out. But if they close it out and go through another drought, you think Stephen Ross will pull the trigger?
I mean, this franchise hasn't won a Super Bowl since 1972, 73. So we're approaching that 50-year mark since the last time this city has seen a Super Bowl victory from Miami. So something's
Well,
got to give.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. How many? I mean, let's face it, y'all. A lot of. I mean, a lot of y'all wasn't even born back then. I mean, some of
Yeah,
y'all
I
weren't
wasn't even
born.
thought of.
So you being a historian, you just reflecting back on somebody else's wishes right now. But hey,
Yeah, man, I want to see it for myself.
you don't want to read about it. You want to witness it, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
okay. Well, I tell you what. Like I said, it was not the greatest contest. Although the Texans got they got three interceptions, a couple fumbles, and normally when they get that, I don't care who you are. When you get the ball, turn the ball over 5 times, and we walk away with 3 field goals, something's wrong. I mean, it's
yeah.
something wrong, and I mean, and it's no use of trying to parse hairs today. I know David Culley said that they still sticking to the process. Although there's a certain columnist down here for the Daily, said that he didn't believe in it when he was first hired, but then I got to strongly believe that it really wasn't a whole lot of folks walking around here wanting to take that position after this, because this was a house of cards. This was a this place was screwed up. I almost did the wrong word, but anyway, even though this thing was been screwed up, and so they trying to stitch it back together with baling wire, toothpicks, and whatever bubble gum and everything else. And so we'll move on. They'll take the bye week, and everybody try to get their constitution together, and then they got to go to Tennessee. Although they don't have to worry about the horse that they're dealing with. He's done, probably done for the rest of the year. But who does the Dolphins pick up next week, man? By chance, since you got a little victory. I understanding that the music was playing in the locker room tonight or this afternoon.
Well, it's a short week.
Y'all got a
This
Thursday night game, right?
Yeah, Thursday night playing Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens. They head down here to South Florida, so yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna be
y'all
a challenge. Yeah,
and the Ravens won the game today in overtime. They almost carried it all the way to the end for a tie. So y'all got to get Lamar Jackson and all that group to try to run down. Well, let's put it like this: Lamar Jackson's not Tyrod Taylor,
yeah.
and that y'all will find out real quick. So hopefully
Yeah.
y'all can enjoy the victory. Hey, Mark, I told you I wasn't going to keep you on, wasn't going to hold you. I do appreciate you, man, jumping on with me, man. And,
No problem.
continue the good work down there. I thank you for jumping on. Hopefully we can keep this line of communication going. The Texans or either the Dolphins, because it'll be another couple of years when the Dolphins, unless they make it to the playoffs. It won't be this year, though. But, maybe we'll catch them next year and things will keep this line of communication going. Folks, I really want to appreciate it. Hey, thank you for jumping on. Mark Stallworth,
Thank
goes
you.
by the handle Mark from Dade, and he's the man in South Florida. He's the one. He's the shaker mover down there. I also want to give a shout out to Jason Jenkins, who turned me on to Mark. I told him, I said, hey, I'm looking for somebody that's opinionated, that ain't scared of nobody. No, I don't even know he's on camera. He'll jump out the screen at you if he, to prove his point. So, you all stayed back and everything, he said you the man down there. So I appreciated you jumping on, man, and really appreciate you just bringing your insight into the turnover fest today from Hard Rock Cafe. And hey, thanks again, man. Thank you for coming on.
All right, thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, you take care now. All right, have a good one, man. Yeah,
All right, too.
we go try to get ready for the game. This other game to come pops on. So anyway, man, have a good one, man. Say hello to everybody. You see Jason, man, tell him I said thank you again. I'll give him a shout later on, man.
All right, will do. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you now. You take care.
All right.
And
All right.
and as we get ready to get moved toward to the end of our show, uh yeah, folks, the Texans have a bye week coming up. And I can almost imagine what some of y'all want to say. Can we bury all of them? Can we just go ahead and that might not be a wise term to use considering the tragedy that just happened Friday over there, but maybe can we just, it's too late. The trading deadline is gone. We have to like what as old saying, let's dance with what brung us. And right now, what has brung us. Uh, this was when I know Chris Gardner's going to come back on here in a little bit and go ask me, well, Mr. Moore, how do you feel about can the Texans, can they get 2 or 3 more victories? I don't know. I'm probably sure he will stand there in his very dry wit and probably pose that question to me. I don't know if the Texans will win another ball game this year because the Jacksonville Jaguars has won 2 games now. That's right. The Jacksonville Jaguars won today, and and I can't. I keep harping on the fact that the Texans had 5 turnovers today. Of course, they committed 4, but I would have thought that with the turnovers that whether with field placement and Tyrod showed he was rusty today. He wasn't as sharp as what we normally expect him to be. He wasn't on top of his game what we expect him to be. So should they left David Mills in there? There's a voice. There's a voice in one corner keeps saying, why not let David Mills stay there and play the rest of the year? You know, at this point right now, the only win we had was with Tyrod Taylor, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to have no coach. I don't care who it is going to sit there and tell you we playing out the string. We just want to see what's gonna transpire, because the way the Texans are cutting players and sending veteran players out of here and can down to what about 29 to 28, 29 to 30 1-year contracts and so forth. It's going to be a wholesale change coming into the year anyway. So folks who just, you just want to see effort. You want to see a proper effort. I think the defense stood up well, but there's no score for defense. There's not a score for offense. It's only the score for the team that says the Houston Texans. And the Houston Texans are still pathetic. Even against a team that you felt like they could have matched up real well. But I think the Texans probably would have done better with Tua in the game as opposed to Jacoby Brissett, because, as I mentioned earlier, Jacoby Brissett has been a Texas. He has a mastery over the Houston Texans. He's been able to win in all shape, form, or fashion, and he's been able to get them every time. He's only lost 1 game, and I won. I went back and checked the records as I stated earlier, and he's been able to master the Texans. So The Texans are off. The Astros didn't win the World Series, but that's okay. I'd rather be in a position of losing in the World Series or still sitting there and feeling this having this pitfall, this pit in my stomach, trying to explain this pathetic, just unenthusiastic play that you see from an offense, and guys standing there with that dead headlight looks, trying to figure out we are a professional ball club. That's right. The other team you play on the other side, everybody will get their direct deposits tomorrow. But you want to see a professional product put on the field, and Sunday by Sunday, hopefully that during this bye week that they can get away from it, guys can get recharged and get some people back out there, and hopefully we can see a better product. We've seen some efforts that shown that they are getting close in some aspects, and other times they look like they don't look like that. If you could spot them with the FOTBA and L, don't look like they can come up with the other L, the spell football. And other times look like they look like they're right there at the door, ready to turn. But more times than not, they're looking like an absent-minded team. So as we get ready to move this thing to the close and get ready to watch the Sunday night game, Chris Gardner, I'm sort of like, I don't. What else you can say? I mean, I put some of the best perfume on this pig. I put the finest silk on this pig. I put the greatest Chanel lipstick on. But the pig toenails are still the pig toenails. It's still pig feet.
Still 1-8.
Yep.
Rockets 1-8 too. AD about to be 1-9 in a few minutes. Tip off at 7:30 against the Warriors.
Well, I mean, let's face it. I mean, they could have an all shooting night. The Rockets could. I mean, they came within a bucket the other night.
Well, they lost by 1 yesterday to the Nuggets in Denver.
I mean,
so
but that's a difference in a young team that's trying to learn how to play together, and they are learning, and they're learning from a coach that they're giving them some latitude, and letting them bring his players in there, and they're trying to stitch this team together. The potential is there. There's no doubt about it. The potential is there. So I think we got something to look forward to. There's a light at the end of the tunnel over there as far as at Toyota Center. I'm not sure what that light is at the end of the tunnel in NRG, and I don't think nobody else does neither. But
it's your job to discuss the Texans on the AD Max Korner and spin it how you want to spin it, and you do what you do with what you got.
Yeah, I mean, and let's face it, I'm not going to sit up here and lie about this product right now. At this point where we sit right now, that is not a good product out there. Is it? I mean, you can say what you want to. Is it David Culley? Is it Lovie Smith? Is it Pat? Is it any of? You can call out. I can go down the whole list. It's a piece of crap right now, and that's what we have over there. And there's no other way to spin it. Like I say, it'll be nice to have a ledger up there: defense for the Texans, offense for the Texans. But that's not the way we keep score. You play the game to win. You play the game. It's only one score up there, and it's the score that says the Houston Texans. And you're right; they are 1-8, and they're 1-8 going into the bye week. And I hope they can figure out some kind of way to get that taste out of their mouth and get recharged. I hope Tyrod can get the rust off and maybe come back and maybe go to Tennessee and maybe just do a turnaround in Tennessee, because you don't have to worry about facing the big horse when they get there. So we'll see.
But AD, we know one thing.
What's that?
Both of us can do something, and I'm going to use, if you don't mind, I'm using on your show, the AD Max Korner. We know one thing. Both of us can guarantee that the Texans will not lose this coming Sunday.
Guarantee. Touche. Touche, Mr. God. We can both get. In fact, we can go to Vegas on this one. I can try to put money down, and they won't even take my money. They'll just say, young man, go back home. If you want to just throw your money away, go over to a slot machine and just put it in the slot machine. We're not taking any bets on the Texans this week. No, you're right. They are not. And so, hey, Everybody, as we come to the close and get ready to go see Sunday Night Football, this is your man. As always, my hats off to my compadre there, Chris Gardner. Like I say, he's optimistic watching the Houston Rockets. I'm pessimistic watching the Houston Texans, and so, but you know what? We're gonna keep coming back. But stay tuned. Yeah, I know the Texans are off next week, but guess what? I'm gonna be here. And we got some. I'm got some things stirring in the pot. What we're gonna pull off for next week. Be on the lookout. The times might change a little bit, but we'll try to stay true to our form and format. And so, without further ado, this is your man, the Dolphins, AD Moore, and my man Chris Gardner. This is on the AD Max Korner. Ciao. I'm out of here, and let's go see what the brothers are doing over at the house. As without further ado, we out of here. This is a wrap. And this is your man on the corner. And I will be back next week with a surprise or two, but won't be talking about the Texans. Won't be talking about a win or a loss. We're just going to talk about something. And without it, that's a wrap. I'll see you. I'm out. Deuces.